Hello everyone! Let's kick off our first video on communication for NGOs, where we talk about branding. So, what is branding and why is it so important? To start, I would like to ask you the following question about your organization. How do you want people to perceive you? And how do you want people to talk about you when you're not around? The answer to this question is called branding, an emotional feeling about an organization that carries their identity and makes them unique against others. I also like to define it as the visual and non-visual manifestation of an organization's identity across communication channels. So that means social media, brochures, and word of mouth, and others. But why is branding in specific so important for an organization? There are many reasons, but I want to highlight two. The first one is that people get to know what you're about, and they're attracted by it only with a very quick look. And two is that your target audience can tell you apart from other organizations who may offer also similar services to yours. So, in the question, what makes this one stand out? Well, a lot of times it's just good branding. Let's look at two different examples together. One is Res Cooperativa, the organization I represent in this project. So, this is Res Cooperativa Facebook page. And let's scroll at this together. What do you notice looking at the way they use emojis, their colors, their fonts, the shapes that they use, the photos that they use, everything? Take a good look, and if you want to, you can also pause this video and write down these observations. Now let's hop on another Facebook page. So this is Social Hackers Academy Facebook page, and take a good look at their page as well. What do you notice about their shapes, their colors, the fonts that they use, that you can see here, how they write their text? Take a good look, and if you want to, feel free to also pause this video. How would you describe these two organizations that you know nothing about yet with three adjectives? Take some time to think them, write them down if you need to. Now I will reveal a bit more about this organization. Res Cooperativa is a social enterprise based in Greece that hosts innovative, experiential and non-formal education opportunities. On the other hand, Social Hackers Academy is a startup with offices all around the UK, Netherlands and Greece, which provides high-quality tech education to refugees, migrants and long-term unemployed people. Do you think what you saw from a very quick look on their Facebook pages reflects who they are? Maybe yes, maybe not so much for you. And keep in mind that this is just one place where we use branding, our social media pages, and in specific, our Facebook pages. Branding as an aspect of communication exists everywhere. Let's take a look together at where we can find branding. Branding can exist online. For example, it can exist on our Facebook pages. It can exist on our Facebook posts, and they can be different for many different types of functions. They can exist in our online community groups, on our LinkedIn, or on Instagram, but also it exists offline. It's how we talk about ourselves to other people. It's how we decorate our office and our spaces, or even our items that we have around. In your own free time, go and look at these two pages again of Res and Social Hackers Academy, and maybe other organizations that you also like their branding, and notice what they use as strategies or as patterns. And based off of their image, I want to make some observations together about branding. One, logo matters a lot. The logo is serving a lot for our branding in general. It says everything about our organization without actually saying a single word. If you check pages of organizations with successful branding, you can see that their logos are scalable, which means that they are able to adapt at any size and still be recognizable, but also they are simple, balanced, versatile, And most important thing, they don't look like anything else. 2. Consistency is important. As we noticed, each organization has its own unique brand that they always follow, their own colors, typography, shapes, everything. And that makes sense because a brand can evolve but not rapidly change from one day to another. Think about it this way. Would people still recognize your house if you revamped it and changed it drastically every couple of months and thrown everything out? Probably not. Branding is shaping every corner of our online and offline presence as an organization. So sticking with your brand shows professionalism, a strong sense that you know who you are and what do you want to do as an organization. Of course, we also evolve in the US. Brands change their strategies all of the time, but we never change through essence. And that helped us create a visual identity that people recognize, are attracted by, and they know it's there every single time. Number 3, colors, shapes, and typography send very specific messages. Remember when I asked you what do you think about looking at them for OS Social Hackers Academy pages? It's because each color, shape, image, and font, which we call typography, has its own way of communicating certain messages about who they are. For example, some fonts are more relaxed, some others are more artistic, and some others are more serious and formal. And to decide which one to use, each organization thought to itself, how do you want others to perceive me? Number 4, doesn't look like anything else. We all borrow ideas from here and there, sure, and this is amazing because this is how creativity works. However, we only succeed when in the end we create something 100% our own. Think about the ROS and Social Hackers brands. You wouldn't mix one for the other, right? How about them with other brands like Greenpeace or UNICEF? These brands are examples of good branding because they are unique and eye-catching in their own respective target groups. Number 5, authenticity gives the brand its distinctiveness. If you take the time to read the text, we believe that the content should come straight from the heart. Because your audience is smarter than you think, and as receivers of messages, they can tell when a brand's messages are unauthentic or when they are created only for the public or to fill in content space. When they feel it's genuine and it aligns with your values as an organization, but also their values as people, they think, oh, someone thinks and acts like me. And that is very important, especially for NGOs. And number 6, it all seems to have a plan. This plan is what we call branding strategy and is connected with all the aspects that I mentioned before. The brand strategy needs to be thoughtful, consistent, and not created for a specific campaign or an event, but all throughout the organization's lifetime and all its functions. And that is sustainable for an organization because they don't have to invent the wheel every time they have to make a post or a brochure. There are guidelines, which we call branding guidelines, and according to which the organizations make their templates for all their branding functions. They are used across all their communication channels for efficient, quick, and on-brand visual and non-visual communication with their audience. So, we challenge you to make a mood board of your organization's brand. A mood board is a type of visual presentation or collage consisting of images, text, and samples of objects in a composition. And you can make one with all inspiration you need to build your organization's brand. You can use any tool you like. We love Milanote and Canva for this, and you can find links for them in the description box below. We have 2 tips for you. Tip number 1, look at other organizations' brands, even outside of your field. What elements are you attracted to from them? And what do these elements say about them? Tip number 2, inspiration is everywhere. Don't stay only to what organizations are doing. Go out on the street, in nature, in the city, and pay attention to colors, shapes, and textures. Listen to the radio and observe their tone. Open up magazines, search for inspiration in any and all places. Because by looking at what attracts us and what qualities do they represent for us, we can start building how we want to present ourselves to the world. Bye bye! See you in the next video.